All right, hey guys, Sam back with you here. We're mid morning on a Monday, January 29th. The other coin that was requested today amongst the members was Salt here to Bitcoin. So I'm going to put this here down. So Salt, this is of course another very strong project, and so if we come over here and we punch it in over here on CoinGecko, looking for where's the volume, how it ranks. You see now this is a comer, right? So it's not quite to 50 here. But, this is one I like. So, you got to look at that and go, okay, well, am I going to make an exception? Well, why so low? Well, first, it's only been 6 months since the Genesis date. So this is a new project. Getting traction here, almost at 400 million. I'd like to see this bump up a little bit more, but this is where this is the value of coming to something like, and CoinGecko is not the only one. I just like the way they scored it. It's a chance for you to dig a little deeper and see what's here if you think there may be some potential. I like this project long term, so I'm willing to check and see is it trading technically, even though I know it's below the scoring that I'd prefer to see. So that might affect how much of my total portfolio I would put into this trade. Just some food for thought. If we look at where it's trading, Hoibi, I got to figure out how to pronounce that. Well, that's where the bulk of it is. Binance number 2 and Bittrex number 3, almost exactly the same. And bulk of it is traded to Bitcoin. No trading against the dollar, it would appear. Well, I guess there's a little bit to the tether on Gate. Well, there's an exchange I hadn't heard of. Okay, so let's go over and take a look at it and say, okay, well, can we trade it? Is it trading technically? Well, so here's the genesis, right? The ICO and the craziness that comes with that. We eventually get into a bottom down here. Now, I'm not gonna work through all of this. It's technical. So we do it. The one unusual thing, we got a truncated a fifth here in the one wave, given this big spike that we saw here. So we get our 1, we get our 2, then we get an expanded ABC, an expanded B wave here. But you can see it's 3 waves into the 2, right? We hold the low. Here's the 3, the 4, 5, we get the 3 there. So, again, we've done this coin before, not going through every pivot here to qualify it. The assumption is that a 1 wave is complete, and we're now correcting this. We'll take note of where we are. This is our fourth dip into the golden box here, into our 61865 pocket here, which we love so much, right? So why do we like it? Because the risk reward is so good. So you can be very tight with entry here, knowing that if it's going to go deeper. Now, 2, we can go this low. We know that can go down that far. But you could you could be trading this right now. Looking at this with a very, very modest amount of risk, you could just get on the other side of the 65. If it breaks it, well, you take a very small loser, and you wait for more evidence that we've got a good pivot low here. So what else can we do to help build our case? Well, again, on the assumption that we have a 1 in and that we're correcting that, so we're anticipating 3 waves. So given that, we can look here and say, okay, well, all of the ingredients are here. This basing action that we're seeing here at the 618, not unusual. You can see these prior swing highs all potentially offering us support. So we're in this, again, it's kind of what we're seeing across crypto. There's just a lack of conviction here. There's sort of lackluster volume, lackluster buying. It's not the extreme volatility that we saw. Certainly we saw in 2017, but even in the last couple of weeks, it seems like the entire market is just taking a breath and letting things settle. And we'll see which of the strong projects start to come out of it. Well, of course, whenever you have 3 pivots like this, and we're trying to evaluate a pivot like this, we're going to put a pitchfork on it. So if I work from my high here to my A low, then go to my B, so you can see that's just absolutely perfect. Now I have a modified shift on here. So the original would be too steep given the steepness of those pivots, but we get the modified shift here, which is, of course, as I've shown you many times, almost identical, if not exactly identical to what a channel is going to look like, right? So we get the median line here, or the center line of the channel. So the exact same market geometry that you'd find in a channel. So you can see here we're getting, we get a green candle here. There's always going to be some reaction at the 618. So we get a little buying here. So I would propose to you that's a very reasonable place to be buying. Now, what's your risk reward look like? Well, if you're in right here right now, it's going to do that. Every now and then this thing will get a little funky on me. Let me try that one more time. I've had that happen to me before. See if I come over here. Yep, it's going to do it. I don't know why it does that. Okay, well, here's your target up here. So as I've shown you in other videos, the negative 100 is going to be very close. So this will be close. The negative 23.6 will be very close to the 100% length of the 1. The negative 618 will be very close to the 1272, the square root of 1618, also a target. And the negative 100 will be very close to the 1618. So why do I show you that? Because if you're just quickly looking at a chart, you know those are going to be pretty close. So just to show you what I mean here. So if I work from my low here to my wave 1 high, and I project from down here, what I'm proposing is potentially here our wave 2. Well, here's this is slightly off here. So here's the negative 100, which would confirm that we have a 3. Here's the 1272. Here's the 1618. This is our high probability zone for a wave 3 statistically, if we're going to get a wave 3. A good one. And you can see the 1618 and the negative 100 are virtually on top of each other. So there's your target. Here's your entry. Stop on the other side of the 65. I don't know why this thing, but that's maybe a little bug in there. Why it does that every now and then, but I can't give you the actual numbers. But I can tell you this: just looking at it, if we're going to risk this to make this, that's good risk reward. How about that? I make it really simple for you, right? And that's assuming that you gave it that much room. You don't really need to, right? Just on the other side of the median line would be, again, why take more risk than that? Why do you want to give it all the way down here? No need to. If this is going to be a good pivot off the median line, and we know that if a market doesn't make a pivot on the median line, Andrew's median line trading principle number 3, that the market will often just hover around the median line before making a decision about which way it's going. Now, of course, we could go down. We could go down to the 786. We go back down here to the lower parallel and challenge the absolute low. So we don't know, but what matters is that we have the ingredients here for a trade. We have all the upside potential. So again, that's all you get, right? That's the best you can hope for. I've got good technical setup here. I've got a pattern that I can work with that I understand. I'm at a high probability zone sitting here in the golden pocket here. I've got a median line tap. I've got everything I can ask for, and I've got radically good risk reward. Give me the reason not to take that trade. I mean, there isn't one. If you know one, email it to me. I'd be curious what your thinking is. I don't know why you wouldn't take that trade. That's as good as they come. Right? Look at that upside. Now, granted, that's a 4-hour chart, so we can go down and say, all right, well, wait a minute. It's not that easy. Well, the decision-making process, I propose to you is pretty easy, assuming you've done this technical work. But let's go down to the 1 hour and see what's wrong with that. It can't be that easy. You could dig in here and, this shelf here that's forming here is, it's hard to ignore that. Now, if we break it, then I want to be out. But as long as we hold here, this is a pretty reasonable place to be looking to get long, right? How many times is it going to test that? So we see, now we look here. So you say, okay, well, wait a minute. If that's an AB, we know that the B can go as high as the 786. Let's check that. Well, what does it do? It goes right to the 786. Now here's the counter argument. Okay, so the algo target is down here. Here's the 786 from the absolute low to the swing high. Right, so you have the possibility that algos that the short sellers will push it, that will get to that target. Right, which is why I would propose to you, don't take it too much beyond the 65. If it's going to go down here, it doesn't invalidate this count. Doesn't invalidate it at all. But, so all you'd be doing is here, take the small loser. I'd rather take the small loser and then consider a reload down here when I see what kind of technical action I get down here. And is it relative? We probably have this to consider as well. If we take the length of the A and project it from the B, well, here's the 100% down here as well. So now, yeah, again, you can build a case that we're not finished with this correction yet, that it needs to come down here. Let the algos get that move. Here's the 786, the negative 23, the 100%, the length of the A wave projected from the B. So again, that's why you get a tight stop on it. No reason to take too much risk there. All right, great upside, but certainly technically valid. The number of times that we are tapping both median line and the golden pocket here, this is, I'm going to stop the video and go put the trade on myself. So there you go. A nice looking setup. Nice looking setup. It's not one to, to go heavy on, but certainly a place where you could take a first entry. You're looking for confirmation, right? So you're trying to buy the low here. So to get that confirmation, what do you need to see? Well, we need to come out of this impulsively. So we need to see something along these lines. Right? So if I put the wave on that, you get the idea. It doesn't need to be that high. So we can get that. That's how we confirm. Do we get 5 waves in a 1 and retrace for a 2? So this would be your opportunity to add. If we get a 50% here, there's an opportunity to add. Again, risk reward. Now, if you want to be more conservative, you're just thinking, I don't know what's going on in crypto. It just seems like it's stuck in a rut. So you might wait for the 1 wave and then take the 2. If you don't like this down here because this worries you that we might head down here and get those targets down there, well, then you wait. You wait for some sort of 5 wave. You may have to go down to the 15-minute to carve it out. Then you wait for the 2. Well, then if you're going to catch it, you're going to get the 3 of the 1 of the 3, right? So you see here's the largest degree. We're looking for a 2 low here to set us up for that 3 target. Remember, we looked at those targets way up above. Here's the first algo target right here off of this golden pocket here. 618. Here's their first target. Are we going to get there all in one 5-wave sequence like this? Well, it's possible. That would be surprising, but crypto's full of surprises. So it certainly could see something like that. So you can't count that out, right? If I can get this off here. So what would that look like? Well, it would look something like that. Right? You're going to get a 3, 4, 5. Certainly possible. Now, if we look at that in context and we go, wait a minute, would that fly? Oh, see that those big spikes are annoying. Okay, so there we go. Let me bring this over so you can look. Boy, that's annoying. Okay, so there you go. So could that still just be the 1 wave of the 3rd wave, or is that going to be? See, unlikely that's going to be the 3rd wave, although it could be. Here's the -100, right? So you could see that, right? That's a scenario that could play, but more than likely, what we're going to do is subdivide here on a smaller degree. So we'd get something like this. So we would get a 3, 4, 5 down here to get us into the 1 wave to start what would be, the symmetry would play, would be more reasonable to expect if you got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up for some of those upper targets. That's what I would anticipate. But you got to know that, you could miss the ride entirely. But there almost always will be a retracement that you can get on board. Right, so good opportunities here. I like it right now. I would, so I would put a position in here, knowing that my stop is close. So, let that influence the amount that you put on there. But understand that I'm looking for just the 1, looking for a potential add on the 2. Right, so that may dictate what kind of size you put on down here. Right, just nothing but good setup there. All good. Okay, guys, I'll wrap it there.